And now what we can do is the exercise to insert the authentication inside our application. So let's see what we have to do. This is for the next time. Okay, so first of all we have to install Passport local, and the other one that is Express Session. Let me see it. Okay, Express Session. So QR server, npm install. We have Passport. Okay, and so probably I will have to install everything. No, all the packages that we have used up to now. And I want to show you the database that I have slightly modified by adding the salt and the salted password that I have generated using the websites that I showed you before. So we have a salt that is a string, a random string for each of the user. Each user should have a different salt. So we have generated the string for this one, and this one, and then choosing a password, I generated the salted password. I want just to show the website that I showed before, but there wasn't the recording of the string. So this one is to generate the salt. And here we can just generate the strings, and here inserting the password and the previously generated string. We copying it here, we can generate the salted password. Remember to put different salt for each of the user. Okay. Many times I have done very few exams up to now, but I have seen a lot of them in which the salt was equal for all the users. I mean, this is less point when we consider the evaluation of the database, I mean of the application in general. Okay, we have, okay, I was showing the database, so I finished here, and so I have installed the libraries that I need, so Passport local, and Express Session, and let's see what we need. We will start here, in which we have to define the strategy. So probably it is better to start from here, in which that is the verify function, the function that allows us to verify if the user exists inside the database and if the password is correct. Let's define a new file that is actually the file that performs the query to the database, and new file DAO.user.mjs, and here we can define the function, right? what does this function receives? Again, we have said 100 times during these lectures, a username and a password. Username and password. I want to use the same syntax from the slides. Export const you get user. And we can define the SQL query. So const SQL. That is, we select from the user table with a given username, and then what we do with what we obtain. Obviously, this will return a promise, and also this function actually returns a promise. Yeah. Okay. And then what we do? We have defined the query in the line above, and we have actually to perform the query now. So we have db.get. Nice, we don't have the connection to the database here. So we have to define the connection to the database. It was already defined here. Do we want to use open another connection to the database for that one? No. What we will do is to create a file only for the connection to the database. So here, db.mjs. And we will just copy and paste here. And we have to export it. Export db. Oh, sorry, wrong one. No. Okay, probably it is like this. Oh, I always forget this one. Huh? Okay, thank you. And then here we can import it. Okay, so what we have done is just to create the connection to the database in a single point here, so that we can use it both in the DAO user and this one that is the one that we have for all the other APIs that we have up to now. Okay, so before we defined it while we had all the other one, then I have just moved it in a separate file, and so that we can use in both cases. Okay, so let's write the promise. What we will do is a get with SQL, and we will pass the username and what we can have. Okay, error and row. What will be our row? What will contain our row? Okay, so we have the salt of the user, obviously the email, or the I mean, we look for a user with the given username, or sorry, here it should be the email, because in our database here we have the name of the user and email. So let's correct it. Here we have email and email, and our row will return anything if the user is not registered, so we don't have an entry in our database, or it will return the info that we have seen, the ID, and so on. Okay, so if we have an error, so this is the case in which we have some database connection error or any other thing, we just reject it with the error, and it's okay. Then, if the second case, if the row is undefined, so the user doesn't exist, else if row undefined, so we resolve with an error. Or with the message just saying user not authenticated, not found, sorry. And finally, if the row exists, so we have found our user, we have to verify if the password that he has passed to us, that we have received, is correct. So let's else. We have const salt, so we extracted the salt, and the hashed password that we have stored on our database. So we have hashed password with this one, and then what we need to do here is to create the hashing of the password that we have received here. So we can use the same function that I was showing here, just this one. We can just copy and paste, and here we will check remove this one, the console. Okay, here we have our password, the salt, and the computed hash that is the one generated using password and salt. Then we have to check if this one is equal to hash password. Okay. At this point, what we do is, if they are equal, nice, we have found user, nice, the correct password, so we can resolve. Let's use this one. Then no, sorry. Actually, you should reject here, but with what? Null credential, or yeah, it is general, very small, very compact. Just saying we don't know if the password is correct. The alternative would have been wrong username or password, and or password, don't defining what is wrong exactly. And there are some errors. Let me see, some parentheses not closed. Yeah, I have closed too much parentheses, but there is also one here. It is probably this one. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so we have defined our function here. And what do we miss here? We have defined this, and then we can go back here, in which we can configure the local strategy to verify the user. So let's go back here. Let me close this one. Here we go in the server, in which we import passport from passport. Then we import local strategy from passport local. And then what we have to do is to enable passport to use the verify functions, the local strategy with the verify function. So here, if I'm not wrong, we have passport dot use. We define our strategy, that takes as input. Shouldn't it take the username and password? No, it just takes the function verify with the email and password, and then what we have is a callback. The callback that is the function that will be called at the end. So what we do, it is not this one, because we have defined in the other function that we haven't exported, if I'm not wrong. Okay, no, we haven't exported, but we have to import it. So, here, no, this one. We import it, import get user from .user. So we get user and we pass the email and password. So if this is resolved, then we have the user. What we will do at this point? Sorry. We return the user here, but if we check if the user object is correct. So actually, if we found the user from the previous query, so what we check first, if not user, then we return null false. Let me check if okay, sorry, callback null false. If we have the user, we return callback user null. Sorry, null user. Okay. Then what are we still missing here is we have implemented this. Then what also this, we have to enable the session. We have first to enable the session inside the server, and then we have to say to Passport to use the session. So we have to import the session from Express session, and then we have to enable it. So we have to set up here app.use session, in which we define the secret. That can be any random string, secret, xxx, test, my application, and what you want. Then we have to say to Passport to use the session, so it should be app.use passport authenticate with the session. And then, if I'm not wrong, there shouldn't be anything more. Ah, no, sorry. This function in which we tell Passport how to serialize the users and deserialize it. In this case, we define, so we construct this user object here. So what info we want to go back to give to the browser, to the React application. So we have Passport, serialize user, and it receives the user and call back. And we define what we want to give to our application, that it may be the ID, so the user ID, the email, and the name. And I think that from all the info that we have on the database, it should be enough. I don't.
Because you write function and then use arrow.
Okay, thank you. And the serialized user. So we define the user that it just returns the user as it is. Callback null user. Okay. I think that is enough. Oh, sorry, we have to define the API. So here, app.get. No, it should be a post, if I'm not wrong. See, it is a post. Which we define API login, and we have so what we do here. It is not complex what we do. We extract the username and the password from the request. Const the email rec.body.email and the password. And we call the function that we have defined before. So here, get user, where we pass the email and the password that we have received. And what we can say if we have the user, so everything worked well. I mean, we should before check if the user exists, but I don't. Oh, sorry, we just check. We try, and too many parentheses. Const user user with email and password. And then, if everything went well, we return the user object. Otherwise, if there was an error, we can just return with an error. rest.status 500 with a message error. Like, or we can use the one before. We can send a dot message. Okay, but there is an error because I did expected, sorry. Okay. Let's check if there is something else missing, but I don't think this time. And we can go to our test.http and we can try to write a post HTTP to, let's do just like this. Login with Y. Okay. Then we define the content type. And then we define our JSON. Let's see which user do we have in our database. So we can use this one, and the password, if I'm not wrong, it should be password. So we have email luigi.deosys@polito.it and the password. It is our secure password. Okay, I'm really sure that if I send this post now, there will be a lot of error. And let's see if I configured everything well or there are some errors. Sorry, I didn't start the terminal. Okay. So we have an error here with okay. I didn't import it. No, I imported it here. Let's see. Not found. Okay, so the server started. Let's test our post. Okay. It doesn't return anything, no such table like user, because probably our table is called user without an S. Let's check. Yes. So we have here. Okay, let's try again. Crypto. Probably because we didn't import it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't start the server at the beginning, so all these equal is not defined. Yeah. Let me check. Probably because this should be async, then we should move everything. Ah, okay, yeah, sorry.
Could we put the if and else inside crypto script?
Yeah, I think yes. I'm not really 100% sure. I would like to check here. It is not this one. Not this one. Oh, it is. Yeah, we can just copy this function here that surely has not any error, just to be quick. And we can check it here. Okay, missing parentheses. That is this one. So but there is a missing parentheses here. Shame. I don't understand where. Okay, should be a missing parentheses here. Okay, but let's see. An invalid type received undefined. Oh. Let's see. Let's check with some console.log if we are not here, probably here. Let's see if the because I don't think that we arrive here. I think that here should be reject first. Then let's see if this is our case. Okay, so actually the API went well, so indeed there is 200 as a code, so I don't think that this is the case. So let's go here. Let's see here. Okay, I think that I have missed something, some await somewhere. Let's see here. Console. Okay, so up to here everything is correct. We correctly retrieve the user from our database with its info. Then we have some error. I don't know, because yesterday I was trying to repeat this exercise on my own to present it today, and I got this error, and I don't remember actually how I solved it. There is for sure probably, let me see, this function here, when we define the strategy, probably it is this one, in which probably the strategy of the local strategy of Passport requires the variable to be named username, but we called it username email. And let me see if by just adding this username field email, so this one only, and then this one, but it is not here, but here. Without function probably. Yeah, well, I'm just changing the declaration of function. Instead of using function, I will use a callback. I don't know if this corrects. No, still an error. Okay, I think that this is some small error that I don't identify in this moment. What I want to do is just to show you the authorization part, and then I will upload the correct code that I think is just probably an async or something missing inside it. And I can also send you a message to say to check what is correctly what I was missing in the code, so that you can see the correct thing. And what I wanted to show you is how to authorize, or I mean what how we say if a user needs to be logged in to perform a given API, a given query. So let's go on the server, and we define the function const is logged in. That is a callback. And what we do here is just to verify if the user is authenticated. So if rec dot is authenticated, then we can call the next callback. So return next. Otherwise, the user is not authenticated. Status. We can put an error. Not authentic, not logged in, whatever you want. Then what we can do here is to protect our root. So for example, here there is the question, oh, it is here. In our application, for example, only the logged in user can upvote an answer. So we can just put it here, a middleware. So we have is logged in, and this verifies if the user is authenticated, and only if it is authenticated the following code is performed. Otherwise, it will just return the authenticated this message that we have defined here, not logged in. Okay. There is a nice thing that if we put I don't remember if it is app dot I will just put it here at the end, app dot use I don't want to say something wrong. Okay, app is logged in, what happens by putting just this is that all the APIs below this are protected by the authentication. So all the APIs below needs the user to be authenticated, while all the APIs before are not authenticated. So if what we can do is to group them, all the ones that need the authorization, and put them below this, and leave above the other one. So I'm sorry, I cannot find the error in the application. I will stay here to try to solve it, and if you have any question, you can ask me now or while I'm here. Okay.